change and lobby that change. And then the third founder I want to talk about today is called Lauren Anderson. She recently actually won the competition for West and East Africa that was run by Meltwater from Ghana. I think they ran this competition. Maybe you participated. But they started a company called Kua Academy that does online education from grade 4 to grade 12. And it's a international recognized IEB curriculum. And they adapt it now. They entering Kenya shortly, and they're adapting the curriculum to the Kenyan higher educational curriculum. And in South Africa, it's EIB. And as they enter countries, they do this. They really cater for the homegrown market. Kids that don't want to go to a formal school, but they want to work from home, or their parents are too far away from a city center, and they are growing exceptionally fast because this market is a super good market. So again, bringing education into the homes of people that had to travel far to get this education, or kids who didn't fit into big schools, can now access a very curated educational solution, and they can be finishing their school years in a very good and internationally recognized way. So 3 female entrepreneurs that saw a problem and reacted to it and started to shape the world by creating a solution. And I think all of us in this room today are those kind of people. So what did I see working? I funded these women, and then I got to know them better. What do I see in them that I don't always see when I sit around the fire with my family or my friends? What makes them special? What makes them different as a shaper of the future? Through technology, all 3 use technology to come up with their solutions. The first one is they are trailblazers. A trailblazer for me is somebody who's not afraid to step into the unknown. To try something is okay with failing, because through failing we learn, and is tough enough to pick up again and start again. So that's the first thing I saw in all 3 of these women, that they were really tough and they tried something new and they carried on with it. They didn't swap and chop and change. They reiterated, but they stayed on the same path. The second thing is they know how to mobilize other people and not just make it about themselves. So they built something in all 3 of these companies. They built a solution that if something happens to them, the company will carry on. So they surrounded themselves with good people, good teams, good systems, good technologies that was understood by everybody who participated, from the client to the supplier to the people on the ground. And I think that is also, if you want to shape the future, it should not just be about yourself. It should be about something that you want to rectify, change, and that change can only be permanent if it's not just about yourself. It is about Africa, our countries, our communities. So that is something they did well. They mobilized others. The other thing that I'm sure you're all aware of is they were on purpose. All 3 of them wanted to be entrepreneurs. They used their past experiences, the mining sector from Zanele. The Tasneem is a vegan, so she wanted not to kill animals. So she was on purpose in that mission with New Form Foods. And Lauren was a teacher that now started this academy online. So they used their past experiences to solve something that they saw as a problem, to solve it. So they were on purpose with what they did. They're also unapologetically themselves. These women can have a good opinion, and if you don't agree with them, they will not back off. They will learn if they want to learn, if they need to learn. They will learn, reiterate, and adjust, but they do not say, I'm sorry, I'm here. They are absolutely fully present, and they own their mistakes. They don't try and hide it, and they are completely who they are. So when you meet them, you know exactly who you met. They pitch up fully for what they do and believe in. And here's an interesting one. Every time I meet a new entrepreneur, I ask a question, and that is, how do you plan to exit what you're doing? And we try and invest in people who actually know how they will exit, because if you don't know how you will exit, whatever you do, if it is building not a business, but a change program or a community asset or even a church, doesn't matter what you're building. If you don't plan to one day exit, then you're not building it to stand on its own and be sustainable. So all of these women, if you ask them, how are you going to exit what you've built? They have a clear strategy in place, because they're not building it just for them. They're building it to last beyond themselves. So that's an interesting one. And it took me many years to get to that point. I'm building a foraging garden in a municipal strip in front of my house. So it's not my land, but I'm building, I've planted about 200 trees there, and it's fruit trees and food that grows there. But I realized that if I plant every tree, if I go in there and I do all the work, then the community will not look after it if I might leave or move or not be part of the community. So my job is to get the municipality involved, get my neighbors involved, and make them excited about it, and give other people other tasks, so that if I one day leave, this project can live beyond myself. And this is what these ladies also have done fantastically and beautifully. So if these are the traits that I saw all of them have. So what did I see that they do? They addressed in all of their projects, they addressed the real problem. So it wasn't their passion project. They used their skills, but there was a real issue: education, healthcare, and alternative meat solutions. So they built the solution. So they went and tried the technology, mobilized the people, built the teams, built the systems, business processes, the unit economics, so that they could make a business model out of it and scale those businesses. They mobilized investment into their businesses very successfully, and they created a story that was beyond themselves. So, if I learn from the people that we invest in, I would say that you shape the future by identifying a real problem, build a solution around that is sustainable, repeatable by other people, execute on a systems level. We call it almost regenerative investment, so that when you put money into that business, you will be contributing to something that is much more than me, you, and the team, but that we are building a system that can really impact the world in a positive way. And The individuals that we support from the start must be able to exit at any moment, and this thing can last without them. So it's sustainable and it can keep on giving. So if I then say, where we started today with this conversation is, remember what Einstein said? Let's stop reading other people's books and write our own story. And if we do that, we will really be the creators of this continent and the solutions. And I think we will solve our own challenges, but we can even solve world challenges and own that intellectual property from Africa to the world. And that's what I want to achieve. And I hope we can open the conversation. I'm really open for any questions or any comments about innovation, digitalization, technology entrepreneurship, and your story. Would love to hear your story as well. So, Francis, I'm opening the floor. I'm not sure what you had in mind. You said a little bit of talk and then open the floor. I don't know whether you will facilitate. Must I facilitate?
Okay, thank you so much. That was outstanding. So yes, I'll let you, yes, facilitate. We are open to questions and answers now. And that was a very outstanding session. I have a lot I've written down. I have learned a lot. Yes, build and make sure it's repeatable, build on a system level, build something that is beyond just you and the team. So with that, I want you to ask your questions because this is an opportunity that is rare. I know Audrey is quite a big person. I respect so much. And for me to get her to be here, it's a privilege. Yes, so I want you to maximize that privilege that I'm enjoying right now to ask your questions. I can see some people dropping some nuggets in the summary of what they caught in the chat. So that's just one way to express how much you have learned. So please kindly ask your questions. Yes, and get opportunities. Then shoot your shots if there is a need for it. So please go ahead, ask your questions, and I will be here listening. Thank you.
Yes. Ladies, tell me your stories. You know, where are you? What are you battling with? What do you want to change? And thank you for the comments. Everybody's so quiet, but you know, it's a Friday evening, very late. I thought, this is crazy. It's already almost 9 o'clock in South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay, so okay then before the questions start coming, because I believe sometimes we just wait for the first person to ask the questions. So let me go and ask your questions. So I know you've worked with so many startup founders, especially women, and you've also, yes, supported and funded some companies which you mentioned here. And we're very proud because these are opportunities that are pretty rare. Lots of people work towards it, and at the end of the day, they don't get that support. Probably because they did not do the right thing. Please, I would like to share what are the key things you've noticed that are very consistent to it. Most startups that get to start so with so much dream, but at the end of the day, don't actualize it. They either pack up and go back to the drawing board. So what is the biggest thing that you see that is consistent with this pattern? Thank you.
yes. You know, in the first place, we must realize that there's really a shortage of funding at the early stage. So if you look at market and market trends, there's too little money at the early stage. So when you become or you start your journey, just realize at the beginning, there's almost nothing. There's almost no money. You know, certain countries, I think Nigeria might have a few grant schemes. South Africa has a few grant schemes. Some countries has nothing like this, you know. So depending on where you come from, but even those grants, they're far and thin between. There's a $42 trillion deficit in early stage funding on the African continent. So understand what you're up against, right? So I just want to make that very real. Don't make it personal. If you get a no, it's not personal at all. It is, there's too little money, and the little bit of money must choose between 100, sometimes 200 pitches. So they choose 1% of what they see, basically. Then what makes that 1% successful? It's all the things that you've heard before. It must solve a real problem. The team must look as if they know what they're doing. So now you're a startup, you've never done this before. Build your own traction for a while, you know. Put a lot of skin in the game. Start with what's around you. Who's your family? Can they contribute? Can you put your own money into this? Can you get a bank loan against your house? How much do you believe in what you do? You know, and investors look at that. Was this just like a fly-by-night idea around the dinner table? Or have you been busy with this for 3 years? And you can show that people are actually already buying your product, or that you've got 6 years of investigation into this project, maybe through your university work or what. You see, the skin in the game people who get money has skin in the game. They've been there for 3-4 years already, actively in this business, and they've built something. So when you're building, regardless, the money follows easier. So yes, I would love money, but I'm not waiting for money. I'm doing it in any case. That is a very believable story. So that the real, is there a market? Do you have a good team? Do you have traction? Do you have skin in the game? Do you have success to show? Are you growing every month? Is somebody buying your product? All of those things make it believable for an investor to put money into your business. Even grant money, if you got early grant money, then later commercial money, grant money can help you in the beginning phases to pivot, build technology, do new things, and make more mistakes maybe. But by the time you get commercial money, people want you to be on a path. I see a hand, but I can't see the name. It's Tabitha.
Yes, Tabitha's hand. So please, Tabitha, go ahead. Share your question, please. Tabitha's still with us, so is it a network issue?
Could be.
Good evening.
Yes.
I think the network took me out. Okay, good evening. I enjoyed this section. So my name is Dr. Tabitha, and I'm an optometrist. I've been working for 5 years now, and I think this year I just transitioned into tech. So I'm doing I'm a data annotator for a company, but I really want to know your own advice on how to like transition in properly, like how to merge your own personal career with tech. Like how do we merge it together? Thank you.
I just didn't catch what. Are you a teacher? Do you say you're a teacher and you want to start a business, or do you want to start using tech in your teaching? Did I hear you correct?
No, I'm a doctor. I'm an eye doctor. I'm an optometrist.
Okay.
Yes. So I just ventured into tech this year as a data annotator. So I want to get your own advice or your view on how to merge both your own career, because some people are not techie, like that's not their own course, but they want to merge the both of them together. So what's your take on how to thrive in both your career and going for tech at the same time?
Yes. So we know that technology, whatever your service is, so you've got medical services, with tech, you can reach more people and you can solve problems like efficiency in your practice, efficiency in maybe writing reports. There's so many things you can use a technology interface for. So I think you'll have to analyze, what is it? Why are you using tech? And what is it that you want it to do for you? And then the other part that I just want to say, if you love tech, you can do it yourself. But not everybody loves technology, and not everybody likes research, to try lots of different things before they settle on one. And not everybody is actually geared to build their own technology solutions. So I also want to encourage everybody in this room that tech can make you more efficient, reach more people, do what you do better through artificial intelligence and other solutions. Do not shy away from it. Even if you don't enjoy it, get somebody to do it for you. We're all thinkers. So I think the hard work here, Tabitha, is to understand. It sounds like you're really attracted to tech, so maybe you're just playing with it, with different solutions. Then you're lucky. But the hard work for you will be, why do I want it? And what must it do for me? Where am I going with it? And then build it into your systems and solutions. And that which you don't do yourself, get other people to do for you. That's the only thing I can advise. It's always very logical. We think it's big, but it isn't. It's actually, what do I need it for? What will it do? And where can I go? And then I just want to share, it prompted this now, many, many years back, when people were just starting to use computers. I was in my 20s. It wasn't popular or anything yet. There was a woman that told me that she prefers to write people letters, and therefore she's never going to use emails or computers. And she was a very modern person. And I just saw what we probably see now. If you're not willing to learn the power of technology, then you're just shying away. You're avoiding growth. And Tabitha, that's not you. I know that. But I wanted to share it because you made me think of that. I remember this woman, she was very proud that she prefers to write letters, which is beautiful, but she was actually shying away from the tool that could have made it easier for her to reach so many more people. So I think just sort out what it must do for you. It works for you. You don't work for the tech. It must work for you. You're the boss. I see Jesulona. Maybe you can tell us what you think.
Good evening, Audrey. Thank you so much for that amazing session. I learned a lot, and I was particularly inspired by your story about being in a family where entrepreneurship is not the big thing. I also come from a family where there are more career people, and there are more this set of people that work for companies over long periods, and I'm more the entrepreneur type that wants to learn from companies and then start my own private thing. And my greatest fear has been building up a good repertoire of clients that would make me confident that even after I leave my job, I'll be able to pick up and continue with my own private agency. And I'm currently working in the social media and content management space. I'm actually a lawyer. I graduated from school as a lawyer, qualified to practice in Nigeria, and I worked as a lawyer for about 5 to 6 years before converting into the digital space. Actually, this year, I fully converted into the digital space this year. And I actually do have a couple of private clients that have reached out to me to do a couple of things for them. But I've just been really afraid of leaving my job to just like finally take that bold step. So I just want to know when would really be a good time to make the decision to actually leave corporate employment and is it better to wait till I actually have a good enough number of clients before starting, or would it be better to actually leave and then start working on building up my own agency's reputation in order to actually gain those clients?
So it sounds like you definitely want to carry on with this. You want to do this digital marketing content.
Yes.
And this is what you want to grow. Well, this is the biggest job of being an entrepreneur you've already done. And that is to know what you want to do. Because a lot of entrepreneurs now, they want to be entrepreneur, but they don't know what they really want to do. So tick mark, you're halfway there because you know already what you want to do. And that is brilliant.
Thanks.
I do not know anything about yourself, whether you are a mom, whether you've got a single mom, or whether you're in a more supportive environment where you've got a person next to you that also brings in money to live. So how important is your salary? Really, those are the things that will build your risk profile. Can you take a chance? Or and this takes a deep delving within your soul. How necessary is the money that you're making right now? Because somewhere you will have to bootstrap, have a full-time job and work at night if you want to build the clients, which is a double job, isn't it? Or you go out and you get the space to chase for more clients. So it is a chicken and egg. I would not drop everything. I would just build a little bit of a fallback before I jump if I'm you, but that's me. People differ. But in your space, definitely, if you've got talent, there's a lot of market for that. We all need designers. Every single one, probably in this room, uses a designer for something. Every entrepreneur that I work with needs an account, So, I think there's a lot of work out there, but then how long will you need the money? And is there a way that you could build maybe a little bit of a buffer for yourself so that you gave yourself 3 to 6 months to just find your feet and grow your clients? That step, the step on your own journey, shaping your own future, it's not a 1 + 1 = 2 answer. There's always risk. It's not always easy. You might have 3 years after you left of the best clients ever, and then suddenly COVID hits or something happens and your biggest client drops you, and you are in that pain that you must go and look for another client or 3 clients to replace that client to make up the income in the business. So the entrepreneurial journey is never secure, never. But it is the most rewarding. And it depends on who you are and what's around you that you could take that step or not. And when you take that step. I think
Yeah.
it's more when. I don't think
Yes,
you
more
sit
when.
there forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And lucky you're a lawyer, so you can draw up your own contracts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Audrey.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just want to jump in here because we don't have so much time available for us. So I'm going to read out a few questions and let you answer. Then firstly, some people are asking questions on YouTube, and I believe some of them you've answered. So someone asked, at what point in your entrepreneurial, at what point of our entrepreneurship do we start planning our exit? And I believe that are you I don't know what the person means, whether it's are you exiting the particular project you're working on
The
as an
business.
entrepreneur?
The
Yeah.
business.
Okay.
It's a very good question. I want to say, but it's challenging. I want to say that you should think of your exit when you start. Like, who was the lady, Giselona, just, I think if I remember the name correctly, just said that she wants to start to build her own agency, digital marketing agency. Now, if she can think, I want to build this to a certain number or certain size, you don't have to be right. You can be wrong, but if you say, listen, I want to start this because I'm in a corporate career, but if I can maybe build this to become a $10 million business, then I want to sell it and buy my house at the coast or in Dubai or wherever you want to be. Then you've got a plan. Now, as you build your business, you will have in your mind, I need to get to that $10 million mark to enable what? And how does this look? How much profit must I show? Who will buy me? Maybe I should have dealings with them. Maybe I must make it very interesting for them to buy us. And what would they buy? Other talents. I must get the best talent around me. I don't want to be stuck in the business when they buy the business. So what will they buy? Systems, processes, a brand, all of that. So even if you're wrong at the beginning of the journey, to have an exit in mind will shape the way you build that journey. If you just think about a house, if you build a house just for yourself, it will look very different than I'm building a house because I want to sell it one day at the best price ever. Then you think about the market, the place you put it down, the environment, who will buy it. You build it for that audience. It's the same with a business. So the answer is, as soon as you start, you can change your mind. When you're at $10 million, you can see maybe that you can grow this to $200 million. I'm talking dollars because I don't know all the currencies in the room. So your dreams can expand, you can change, you don't have to be stuck to any plan, but you have to plan an exit from the start because it captures your dream and it builds your discipline and it builds the house of the business that you're building.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's a whole lot going on in the chat. I believe that I'm excited that people are actually thinking of building startups because leadership is very important, and also being an entrepreneurship has a whole lot of things involved in it. It's not just a walk in the park. There's a whole lot you have to put in mind, and there are things, okay, that have been mentioned here that is very important for you to consider, even those that wish to exit. There's a whole lot of questions. Their hands up. Please, will you do me a favor? Those that their hands are up, put it in the chat. Let's get the questions put together, okay? So that we will be done in no time. Okay. So someone says, Doyin Sola says something. Say, thank you so much, Audrey. I am pumped. My long existing fear has been about starting out. I fear that I may not be consistent and only just realize that my fear is actually not being able to show up somewhere along the line. What tips might you have for this state? Okay. So what do you have? What tips do you have for me to help me navigate out of this state faster? So, what do you think?
So this is now leaving the job into the private thing. Am I understanding?
She says she owns a
I
business.
can't wait.
but-
Consistent. I only just realized my fear is actually about not being able to show up somewhere along the line. Okay, so just look at your language there in the question. It's not about what's out there. It's more your fear with your own levels of energy, your own levels of maybe know-how, your own levels of not showing up. So that has almost nothing to do with the business. It has to do with your own habits, your own life. How do you show up for your life right now? If you show up for your life, you will show up for your business. So you don't have to fear that. And the other part is you don't have to know everything. You do not have to. It's total fallacy to think you must know everything about accounting. You must know everything about the product, the technology, all of that is other people that you build a business with, and getting partners in and getting expertise in. You do not have to do it all yourself. So where you are, but you need to know yourself. You need to know what you're really good at, and you need to augment yourself with things you're not good at, which will not always make you very comfortable, you know. So a systems person that tells me to look at the Excel spreadsheet has always frustrated me my entire life, because I'm not good with that. But I cannot run a business without it. So I need those people around me all the time. So it's all about that process of knowing yourself. And I think that's the journey, actually, the leadership journey of entrepreneurship, is to get to know yourself, know where to augment yourself with other things. So that's my biggest tip. If I look at your language, that my fear is actually about not being able to show up somewhere along the line, internal journey.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was really outstanding. And I know that the more the questions are coming out, the more people want to ask a question or two. Yes, we have spent quite some time here. I hope we'll have the privilege of bringing you back one way or the other, so that we can have good time with you and ask all the questions we have, because the more answers you're giving, the more people are inspired to reach out to themselves and see what is their deepest need and ask as well. So I don't know, do you have consulting sessions and you have time for that? Is it something we can leverage on? Because I know you're pretty busy. So I'm asking if there's any privilege outside here today.
I've never sold my time to mentor people or coach people. But if anybody that's in the room today wants to pop me a question or just have a bit of a conversation, I'll try and make time. Even if we schedule it somewhere into the future. I don't want to charge for that. That's not my journey. My journey is to be an investor.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the privilege, because yes, it's a great honor to have you here, and we have learned quite a lot. A lot of us, our minds have been opened to start asking questions, the right questions, taking the bold step with clarity. So many things has been mentioned today. So many of us are going to start taking actions, which I believe is going to cause the change that we desire. cause the change that we desire. We're looking forward to see more startups doing the right thing, following the right thing. I know that it's always sometimes it's always this uncertainty, and the fear of that uncertainty drives us to make us want to stay back and stay our power, our energy, our abilities. So today, I believe that Audrey has inspired you today to do something different, and do it pretty well. There's always it's always real that sometimes you have to struggle at a point, but you get clarity along the way, and sometimes you have to venture intentionally, without having the clear picture. So I don't wish to reiterate everything she said today, but I wanted to take the lessons and take action. So I have shared her LinkedIn account on our community, in our group, WhatsApp group. So if you want to reach out to her, please make use of LinkedIn, and please make your questions straightforward and brief. I really appreciate every single one that will observe that she has a whole lot, and her time is really precious. Even though she's giving it out freely, please maximize it in the very, very, very best way ever. Thank you very much, Audrey. It's a privilege to have you. I wish I would let you go, but time demands that we do that. Thank you so much. My regards to everybody. So what do you guys have to say to her? Drop your smileys, your emojis in the chat. You're popping your smileys, hearts, and all chairs. We really appreciate her for her time today. So I want to see it coming. If you really enjoyed this session, drop your emojis, your favorite emoji in here.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was an insightful session. Yeah. So that was amazing. That was amazing. Even myself, I wish I would just sit back as a participant and see where I need to apply all the things I am taking away today. And I know what's going to happen. After now, I'm going to sit down and do the needful. And whoever is among us that is in need of funding, Ansa Capital is available. But remember, there is still a process to all this. So you heard about it does not mean that you have everything. So you need to find out things you need to put in place, have a goal, and work towards achieving it. Okay, so we don't have so much time within today anyway, even though it's the last day of the conference online, the live session, but we continue our conversation in the community, in the WhatsApp group. I want to, just like I promised yesterday, we have two group of people that are going to be taking us up to have these beautiful conversations and reach out to those that are interested. But firstly, we're going to hear from, just 2 minutes, we're going to hear from Haruna Saleh, the sales executive of Rice Africa Technologies. Remember yesterday I talked extensively about how much they have transformed agriculture in their own way, and they are still improving. They did not stop their abilities, their skills, their product, their services for Nigeria alone. They have gone to Rwanda and many other countries. So please, I would like us to chair as we welcome Haruna. Haruna, are you here with us? Because I saw you coming, but I don't know if you're still here with us. So if you are, please come up. You can put on your camera and join me here right now. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm with you.
Thank you.
So I trust you are doing well. Good evening all.
Yes. So I'm trying to find
Can you hear me?
Is your microphone on? Okay. Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, perfectly well. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here and to discuss with like minds. So is it my flow now?
Yes. Just the next few minutes, then we'll call up the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I don't know if I am audible. If I'm not audible, I will have to switch up my camera so that maybe.
Okay, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, very clear. Okay. Yes, you are.
Okay. So great. I think because of the time factor, I will just have to rush and take us through. And my topic of discussion is starting a career or business in agrotech, right? So I hope my agrotech audience are here with us. And I just want to make it so simple and easy, because some of the times if people heard about agrotech, they will take it as something big, as something like. So I just want to bring it very closer in a simple way, so that we can understand and we can carve a niche along the way and implement what we learn together. So let me start by breaking down the two aspects. The agrotech, the first one, agro, it has to do with agriculture or agribusiness. And like we all know, agriculture is the science and art of practicing or cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising livestock, like we all used to hear. And in the other words,
Okay, you're not audible anymore. Sorry about that. I guess there was a break, so we can't hear you anymore. Please check your microphone. Yeah, you can put off the camera. Yeah, we can hear you still.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Very clearly, yes.
Oh, that's good. So did you get my first point about agriculture and agribusiness? I'm trying to break down the 2 points. That's agrotech. So the first agro, that's agriculture, and you can put it in a wider context to say agribusiness. And I said the agriculture is the science, art, and practice of cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. And this is a broader word, actually. All these aspects, cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising livestock, there are a lot of activities along the way, which is a whole value chain, which every one of us can carve a niche along and be his own business idea. So the agribusiness aspect, I said, is the commercial activities involved in the production, processing, and distribution of agricultural products. And the technology aspect, simply put, is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. That's the technology. In the context of agriculture, it involves tools, machinery, and software that improve farming efficiency and productivity. And so to join the two together, that's agrotech. It simply means the integration of technology into agriculture to improve efficiency, productivity, and sustainability. And it includes innovation such as the drone technology that is used in agriculture now, mobile applications designed by many softwares developers to make farming and marketing agribusiness easy, data analytics to optimize farming practices, among others. And we have another technologies like soilless farming now, hydroponics, vertical farming, home gardening, using available sources like cement sacks, polyethylene potting bags, etc. Am I with the audience, please?
Yes, you're with us. Yes, we are together. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So I just want to break these points together so that I think it will continue in an interactive way, whereby maybe I'll be asking questions or I'll be responding to some of the questions. So I just want to break these terms as a means of introduction. So the reason for agrotech is that's integrating technology into agriculture. It results to increase productivity and sustainability of the agribusiness, and it even widen market access and cost efficiency. So there are so many states that you can start a career in agribusiness. First of all, you need to identify your interests, because we have different interests. So you need to identify your interests first, because the sector is very wide. Like I said, there is the production aspect, there is the marketing aspect, there is processing aspect. So you need to understand and identify your interests. Which part of the sector are you interested in? And you can easily get entry into. So this is the first step to start a career in agribusiness. Then you have to research You have to learn about the latest technologies and trends in that particular aspect you are interested in. You know, life is a continual process of learning and developing yourself. So definitely, you just need to learn. And there are so many ways you can learn. You can reach out to mentors. You can learn through YouTube because YouTube is a very powerful tool where you can learn a lot of things actually. For example, you are not a farmer. Maybe you did not study agriculture, but you have interest in agriculture and you want to start, for example, soilless farming, or you want to start poultry production. So you can learn from YouTube. You can learn a lot of resources because now in the sector, I know many people, some of them are even my mentors now, but that they didn't study agriculture, but they are now in the sector and they are breaking records in that sector. So it's just for you to dedicate yourself to learning. So you can learn, like I said, via YouTube and other ways of learning. And education and training, you can take courses online. You can attend workshops on agriculture and others. Then networking. Another part is networking. Of course, you need to connect with industry professionals and organizations. So, for example, you want to start a career in animal feed. For example, you want to start formulating animal feed. So, you know, you need to associate yourself with some industry professionals in that aspect. You can reach out to some of the industries in the country. Maybe you can go and do internship, do some short-term courses with them to learn about it. Then you need to start small. I think I wrote this on the group. You need to start small. Most at times when we speak about agriculture or agrotech or agribusiness, people used to start bringing idea of capital. And actually, capital is not the problem. But first of all, your mindset, your creativity, your innovation, your understanding is the first problem. If you have the understanding, if you have the knowledge, so capital is not a problem. And you just need to start small. So by starting small, for example, if you want to start a poultry business, don't start looking at maybe starting with 100 1,000-day-old chick. No, you can start with 20-day-old chick, which I know many of us can afford it. And I know the webinar is mostly, I know the women. So you can start backyard farming in your home with just a small cage. You can start with maybe 20-day-old chick, starting small, and as time goes on, you'll be growing up to the time you can have a big poultry pen and others. So another thing is to leverage technology. So when we talk about technology, I think I will have to explain this in this part. It's not only about maybe drones or Internet of Things and others. No, this technology has a wider perspective. For example, your smartphone, your Android phone is a technology you can use to improve your productivity in agriculture. For example, you want to start business in agriculture, agribusiness. So you want to start joining markets. So you can use your social media handles to advertise things, advertise produce, and I'm very sure you can get market from there. So you see, you are using your Android phone as a technology to make easy access to agricultural products for many people. So there is a lot of things actually you can do. And apart from this, there are other things, the developed technologies like mobile apps. There are many mobile applications you can use. And if you are a software developer, you can hello, am I with you?
Yes, you're with us. Yes, we're with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just yeah, we want to start concluding right now, please. Thank you.
Okay. So I think let me just, because like the topic is something very wide. Agrotech actually is a very wide topic that needs more time. But let me just give a conclusion. So as a conclusion, I want to give a case study of Rice Africa Technologies Limited. Some of the things we do in the agricultural technology, in the agricultural sector using technology. So we have Farm For Me, we have a Farm Easy operating system, and we have Farm Mechanization Service Platform. So for example, our Farm for Me, like the name implies, Farm for Me. So it's like we as a company, we are farming for you, and we are leveraging technology to do this. Maybe you are in Nigeria and you're interested in farming, but you don't have the time, you don't have the technical know-how, or you are diasporans and you want to invest in agriculture. So you can apply to for Farm for Me using our social media or our website, and we can farm for you. So, you know, it's just using technology. We are using our technology. You can just apply wherever you are, and we can farm for you. So you don't have to go to the farm and do the farm activities yourself, but you can just pay and we'll do everything for you. And we have Farm Easy operating system. Farm Easy operating system is a software or an operating system developed to improve the productivity of smallholder farmers. You can use it to measure farms, so all the activities you are doing in the farm, you can use the Farm Easy operating system to do. Applying fertilizer, applying pesticides, and many other things you can use with the Farm Easy operating system. So I think let me just give you a room for question and answers, because it will be better actually, because I thought I will have enough time to do a presentation to take us into some aspect, then we'll break it into maybe smaller aspect. So I think let's just have question and answers a bit more.
Yeah, thank you, Haruna. Yes, okay, please drop your questions. I appreciate what Doinsola says. Say thank you in a few minutes. You have unpacked so much and with ease too. You have me wondering why I haven't gotten the land yet. So it's not necessary that you have to own the land. Remember, there is Farm for Me. Yeah, and I'm very happy with how much success that Rice Africa has achieved. From last year, I came in contact with them when they won an award with Total Energies about their successful implementation of AI technologies and emerging technology, Internet of Things into their business, into agriculture. So this is something that is not so popular in our country today. That is why I'm always proud to bring them on board to share with us. So we have, please drop your question, but remember, if you want to know more about Agritech, Haruna is the moderator of the Agritech discussion group. So take your questions to that. I want that group to be very massive so that other industry groups will be jealous. That's what I want to happen, because we have not really explored agriculture. So any question you have here, if we're not able to answer it, please don't feel bad, because there's not enough time for us to have the next speaker before we round up. Please take that question, jump into the community where we discuss Agritech, and he's going to answer all your questions. Okay, so there are videos. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and I think I want to make contribution with what she just said, that how she wish she has a land that she can do agriculture.
Yeah.
So, one thing, like I said, you just need to carve your niche. There are many things you can do in agriculture without even having a land. For example, if you're onto agro processing, at your comfort zone, you can buy things from the producers, that's farmers, you can process and sell. So, this is agriculture, but you are not going to the farm, you are not having a land, but you are into the agricultural value chain. So you can, for example, I know many people that used to buy paddy rice. That's rice paddy. They will buy it from farmers and they will process it into a Nigerian foreign rice, like they used to call it. And, they will sell in high amounts of money. So there is a lot of things actually you can do. And you can do poultry farming, like I said, backyard farming in your home. You can have a small backyard. You can do home gardening and other things like that. So you don't need to have a land actually. But if you want to be in the production aspect, land is very important. But we can take care of that. You can apply for Farm for Me, then we'll farm for you, right?
Yes, so please get ready to get farmed for. That's beautiful. So and, for those that want,
and please, in addition, I think because I don't have there is no much time for me to explain accurately. So I think we can leverage on the group. Maybe you can just have a session on the group. That's WhatsApp discussion. Maybe you can just create a time and have a WhatsApp discussion.
Okay, so I've also mentioned the fact that after the conference, we're going to have different webinars where we're going to invite people that are very cool in every industry that is going to champion. We're going to have panel sessions. We're going to have this group conversation. So it just got started. Don't think that after the conference, that's it, because Shinovate Africa is an initiative to help people get exposed. You understand? So it's not all about thinking about being a product designer, product manager. You're thinking about industries I'm going to make impact. And this is one. I cannot go through the health tech right now because we have the team, but we're going to have a panel session sometime. We're going to invite you, send email to you, where we're going to invite all these moderators, take the stage and educate us appropriately. So thank you so much, Haruna. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy. Thank you for making out time for us, because I know sometimes you're in the farm, you're managing the system, and you're creating time for us today. So I thank you for that privilege to hear more about you. And I'm happy some people are learning something new, yeah, from this short conversation. Thank you so much. So with that, I want to. Okay.
Can I please conclude in 30 seconds to 1 minute? I will just list some opportunities in the agro-tech for young women. First of all, the farming aspect, you can do the production aspect, then the production technology. You can be in fertilizer business, equipment business, energy, pesticides, and machinery business too. And the third aspect is processing and packaging. Like I said, you can be in the processing aspect where you can buy raw farm produce and process it into a finished goods and sell to customers. Then there is sales and marketing. You can also be in storage, distribution, transportation, and exports. These are also niche you can identify and carve. Then there is research and development, and there is information technology, where maybe you can start a blogging in agricultural sector, blogging, soil testing, training, and consultancy services. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. So with that,
that's all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to hear our final speaker. I know that we've been looking forward to hear from the team. I know we've invited Ruby Igwe, and I know that you know Ruby Igwe, the general manager of General Manager Nigeria of SAN Technologies and ALX. So we are working in partnership with ALX to bring something for you. But for now, I'm going to let her representative, Mr. Joshua Ebinabo, to handle the session, because everything that Ruby would share with us, it's quite unfortunate she's bereaved, so she's not able to join us today. But we wish her the best, and we pray that she will find comfort in the memories of who she has lost this period. So with that, I've opened the stage for Joshua. If you're here right now, please, you can put on your camera and join me here. I'd be happy to have you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Frances. Great session so far, and well done.
Thank you.
I've been listening in, and it's been really impactful for me as well. So really, really excited to be here and meet every one of you. My name is Joshua. I am the Entrepreneurship Development Manager at SAN Technologies Nigeria. And essentially the work I do is really working with young entrepreneurs, building solutions for the future of Africa. I initially thought I was going to share a few slides, but I might share one important slide as we go, but I also understand that we're possibly pressed for time. But I really wanted to share a few things around building an EdTech solution for Africa. I understand that the topic I was to speak on is essentially innovations in EdTech for empowering women. I'd love to really share with you around what we think as SAN Technologies, and also as general investors in the ecosystem, around how we think EdTech will shape the future of Africa. And I can take you on a really short journey. I think that in Africa so far, we did e-commerce, and that really was quickly over, especially because in Africa, it's a low trust environment, and a lot of businesses don't thrive essentially on e-commerce. We haven't seen essentially an Amazon succeeding in Africa today, and we've seen the likes of Jumia start and fail, and a few other people come to play as well. We also have done fintech as well, which had a massive investment over a period of time, but that essentially has slowed down now. But a lot of things have been done. We've done a lot of things around crypto, logistics as well have come. But I think that EdTech right now is really at the heart of what Africa needs. Health tech is still trying to gather momentum as a lot of more people gain appetite for research and investment within that space as well. And there's also renewable energy as well that is gathering momentum. But I think that EdTech is really what is the next frontier. And I'm excited that a lot of entrepreneurs here are excited about building businesses around EdTech today. What we think that, from multiple investment theses that we've seen across is new ideas can become the next big thing in Africa, and you can grow an industry, especially in EdTech. And it shouldn't have to be another set of ideas that we're borrowing from the West and try and force into what our existence is today. What we need to do is essentially look within ourselves and also understand what is already being built and what is quite original to us. Right. I think that one thing I know for a fact is education is really big. And even our parents and the people before us took education really seriously across Nigeria and across Africa. And education is a thing of pride where a lot of people just want to send their kids and their young ones to get education. I think that EdTech is really, really important for us. We think that the solutions that will grow and, make waves in the next future will be things that create many jobs that allow for exponential output. All right. And today we're seeing many Africans who are traveling abroad and starting all over again. Many aspire to do the same thing today, right? But they need the experience to become employable. And they also need significant skills. So there's a gap that needs to be filled. And I think that that's where EdTech today comes in to fill that space. What we think that the next big thing will be is essentially going to be mundane. And it's going to be a process and a combination of getting young Africans to work, something like what Andela built in the past. But what we saw over a decade ago with Andela was we didn't realize how it essentially gave a bump in software talent and software engineering skills that exist. Right, and that obviously bettered ideas for a lot of other entrepreneurs to thrive. So we think that going back to really build the foundation, and it's really not just about education, it's really around education plus access to work. And it's not only things like outsourcing, it's more or less things around how do you begin to build Africans and giving them the ability to essentially participate in the future of work. There's a lot of things we're seeing today emerging where there's AI now that can now do customer service and do it accurately. We're excited about what the new wave of skills gap that will come in to essentially build the future of work. I'm going to see if I can share just a few slides that I think are quite important. For me, I think EdTech is a leveler, right? And EdTech is essentially revolutionizing the way that we learn, offering more flexibility, accessibility, and scalability for learning opportunities where younger people who may have been excluded from an opportunity or a service or also ways of doing things are now being included in our society. It makes education more accessible, and it also makes education more effective as well, providing really opportunities for career development. I want to spend more time really talking about what we think EdTech sectors are, because when you're building an EdTech solution, you need to think about how you want to build, how you want to design to ensure that your users are getting the most out of it, but also you're delivering the message in which you want to pass on, right? And how are people, what are the learning styles that people have, and what are the essential subsectors that you can actually create your product around. And these are some of the key subsectors that we've identified. There's cohorts, course-guided and cohort-based learning. There's also on-demand self-paced learning. There's digital apprenticeship and mentorship that exists. There's professional networking, and then there's assessment and credentialing. Right. When we talk about course and guided cohort-based learning, we're essentially looking at EdTech platforms on work topics where student participates in a guided learning experience, which may have some offline components as well. And this is some of the key things that we try to do at ALX as well, where we're essentially looking at multiple ALX and SAN, where we're looking at multiple learning styles, where people would learn from being guided through a cohort, while some people would learn through on-demand self-paced learning, right? But also just to really categorize this, when you're building your solution, you need to think about what are you trying to teach people and what is the learning style to essentially consume this level of information, right? And you can look across this sort of subsectors. Another thing I wanted to share was essentially the on-demand and self-paced learning. These are edtech platforms where learners can engage in content at their own pace, right? So the channels could include SMS, video, or being gamified. But the idea of it is essentially the learners who engage with these sort of edtech platforms have the ability to essentially engage with the content at their own pace, so they can choose the time in which they spend on it, and they can choose how long it goes for, but essentially confined within that learning experience that, hey, people want to learn certain skills, but don't want to learn it through a guided cohort, right? They just want to learn it at their own pace, and it might take them 6 months, to go through it. It might take them a month, it might take them 2 weeks, depending on the length of the course, and also how much they want to get out of it. There is also digital apprenticeships, mentorship and internships, right? And apprenticeship is something that it has been part of the African culture as a learning style so far, especially in the informal space. But also there are platforms which essentially facilitate digital apprenticeship, internships, or connect people to mentors, right? And you can build a platform that allows for people to essentially go and find mentors to speak with. And there's a platform called Grab a Coffee or Coffee Chat, where professionals can essentially speak to one another over a cup of coffee, and it's done through a platform. Essentially, people can go and set up their profiles. And if I'm looking to speak to somebody who's a marketing professional who's further along in their journey, I essentially will book in a coffee session with them, and they can book several coffee sessions. And it could really be a mentorship program, but it's essentially a learning instrument that is in form of an edtech, right? So there's more and more ways that you can think about building specifically for how people intend to learn and where they are in terms of their learning journey. If I'm a professional already working and I really just want tips from another professional who's further down in their career, I want to be able to do a digital apprenticeship or a mentorship platform, right? So building for these sort of audiences is really important, and it's really key as how we think about job tech, edtech going forward. There's obviously professional networking and labor market information platforms. Today, there's a lot of learning going on LinkedIn, and there's more ways actually people can find information today, right? There's a lot of, even if you look at TikTok today, TikTok essentially is a lot of places where young people go and learn things. So there's lots and lots of social networking that learning happens, and you need to think about intentionality when you're designing an edtech solution. Think about the audience and think about how people are consuming this learning information, right? And building across the different sort of subsectors so that you're essentially hitting the right target and people are gathering the information and learning in an easy way, right? And so for this is essentially social networks or international informational platforms focus on the world of work, right? So it's essentially, okay, how do people come in here? And it's focused on the world of work, but it's more social. And I gave LinkedIn as a good example for this. But there are more and other platforms locally where young people are coming together to share information with one another, share labor market tips, to learn, from professionals and the likes. There's a platform called Class. It's called Try Class, and it's essentially anyone can start a school, and so you essentially can develop a school on your own within the platform and essentially sell courses, and people can actually get invited to those courses. And that's really a learning platform, but it isn't about them creating the content themselves, but it's really just creating the network effects where individuals who are professionals can actually network with people within the community and actually sell courses to them. All right, and then lastly is assessment and credentialing. And these are platforms which provide professional vetting or credentialing to enhance employability of users. All right, and I think the last three obviously focuses on creating job, because we think that in Africa, when you think about EdTech solutions, you're actually looking at tech-enabled skilling or upskilling for the future of work, right? And we wanted to essentially ensure that when we're thinking about delivering, platforms that allow people get access to work, they're designed with that purpose in mind. Whereas the first two is essentially guided cohorts or on-demand self-paced, can actually be used at different levels, whether you're teaching or you're providing EdTech solutions for younger people or older people. You can use either of these sort of subsectors and sort of design. But when you think about creating work opportunities, because we think that's the greatest lever today, given the future of work for Africa, there's a great amount of supply, young people, middle-aged people who are excited about getting into the workforce, but there isn't enough jobs being created. How do we begin to build EdTech platforms that essentially skill them for this, right? And to add on that, assessment and credentialing is essentially platforms who provide that vetting where you essentially, and I think a simple example is this, and I think I mentioned about people, jackpotting and going away. When you want to go to Canada, you essentially will do something called WES. It's a credentialing platform that allows the other country to assess whether you have the requisite skill to essentially do a job. I think that to essentially qualify for either a master's program or whatnot, we think that locally we also need to start building solutions that are focused around credentialing people and say, yes, this person have been verified to have X amount of skill, whether in the informal sector or in the formal sector, right? Where you essentially want to connect people to work opportunities, but they need a badge to say, yes, I am a solar expert, I'm a DSTV expert, I'm a UI UX expert, but people need to be able to credential. It essentially reduces the barrier and the access to work. I wanted to also just share this slide really quickly. I probably think I have about 4 minutes left. Today, we also know that there's a lot of opportunities for women to essentially partake in this space. And it's really, really, really important that we think about building solutions that are STEM focused, educational content, and also tools that allow to promote women as well. We do know that there's an imbalance between how people access work and the kinds of work that certain gender sensitive work exists. And we want to be able to provide that solution and that groundwork to enable more women get access to work opportunities. And from my experience working with entrepreneurs, and I think I ran the first female-led tech accelerator in Nigeria, it's people who understand the problem, who are able to build solutions specific to the problem, right? So we need to think about immersive and adaptive learning tools. And then lastly is really the mentorship and networking platforms that allow for more women to access education and then furthermore go on to access work opportunities. Francis, I don't know how much time I have left, and if I can pause here and take questions.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So that's beautiful. Yeah, understanding that there's no point in your career growth or whatever personal development that you don't come across EdTech. And SAN Technologies, especially for ALX of SAN Technologies, have done quite a lot of things in that aspect. So now we are ready to listen to your question. You want to jackpot, you're writing WES, you're writing IELTS. So think about what he has shared with us and ask your questions right now, because we don't have so much time. I'll be happy we jump right onto it right now. Thank you. Okay. So in case you don't have a question, I would also like you to drop what's the key point you've taken from his conversation, his presentation. I know the time, yes, you're pressed for time, but we also respect the fact that he has shared something with us and we need to give a feedback to what we've learned. Okay, to go ahead and drop the questions. Okay. So, but if you want to ask your question directly, please feel free to raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so before we get to the questions coming in, because I know very soon it starts flooding, so I would like to ask, based on the people that have come in contact with your training programs, your company training programs, you have married women because so there is this thing about we get excited about new things, we want to learn new things, we want to get into tech. That's it. I want to be techie, and at the end of the day, we start and then suddenly we don't finish it. So what is the advice you would give to people like that? So yeah, they come up with a lot of things, especially mothers, because our focus here are usually women and mothers, potential mothers first. So what advice would you give those ones?
I think that one is really important to understand your learning style based on schedule and also based on how you assimilate knowledge and what you're also trying to get out of these things. And that's something that we do at SAN Technologies, where we essentially understand the target audience when we sort of develop courses or training programs. We understand the target audience and also understand, based on data that we have, what are the key learning styles that exist for these people. So essentially to manage their schedule, but also to ensure that they get the most out of this. But what I would advise is essentially, setting a target when you're joining such programs. A lot of times when you join a program, not everything you can learn everything, right? But the idea is to set a goal for what you want to achieve and make sure that you achieve it at the end of it, right? In between, life would happen, and then you might have to drop off. You might have to come back to it. You might, your schedules might be difficult. But the idea is that as long as you set a goal to achieve through that program, and it could be learning it, one specific thing. And once you have that, you can take that away and then use it. But be sure that you have that KPI for yourself and you set a metric and say, oh, by the time I'm done with this program, I want to understand what this is, right? I want to launch my business if you're doing an entrepreneurship program, or I want to land my first internship. And just have that goal in mind and work towards it. We do understand, and that's why we essentially try to design programs that focuses on different learning styles as well.
That's a clear one. So you really need to understand yourself before you launch. It's not about the excitement, the air of everybody. Everybody is doing it. So is there a someone is asking, is there a strict timeline for each of them, or is that
yes, there's a strict timeline, but I think there's a question there about how we motivate students to complete. I think it stands around community. How do you essentially ensure that there's peers who are working with you on a common goal? Having a common goal is always important. Today we're protesting is because there's a common goal of ending bad governance, right? And if you don't come out today, somebody else will come out tomorrow. So how we encourage people to essentially complete courses is essentially pairing them in a pod where there's 10 people within that pod, and the 10 of them must actually complete the course. If you drop off, your peers will essentially drag you in and say, hey, what's going on? We haven't seen you on the peer course, so we need to get you on. Right? Where are you lacking behind? Can we support you on that? So that community is essentially what's important. As Africans, Nigerians specifically, community is super important to us, and a lot of times because society is now more modern, we don't remember. I've probably seen my neighbor maybe 3 times this year. But growing up, if you don't go to school, your parents will find out before you get home that you didn't go to school, right? And that's a community-driven approach. And then you know that tomorrow you can't skip school because your parents will find out, because it's community essentially pushing you to do the right things. So I think that community is the biggest aspect of it, and it essentially goes around across Africa. We're community-driven people.
Yes, that's actually a very big point, because I remember even women among ourselves, that when you want to really, really lose that weight, like when we talk about I want to lose weight, it's not always individual. It's actually this community kind of situation where you see others' result inspire you to do something much more. So yes, that is it. So for you to create a strict timeline, for every academic program you want to take, there's always a timeline. So it depends on you, yes, to choose how to maintain that or make a shift. Okay, so I know this is I wouldn't say use the word plague, but this is one thing that I have seen very constant with a lot of people. They pay so much for a program and still do. So it's not even the money that is making them want to finish what they've started. It's about a personal thing or something that has not really been pointed out that is making a lot of people start and not finish. So now this he actually spoke to us about how EdTech and innovation is helping to empower women. You understand? So our focus is to build much more exceptional achievers among us, women leaders in Africa and across everywhere we are able to reach. So, and EdTech is very big at helping us to get that. Okay. Some of us might want to take an MBA tomorrow, and a lot of us are taking MBA online. So you can see that there is no limit to which you can explore EdTech to become who you want to be. If it's humanly possible, you can do it. So with that, I know that Joshua, you have the stuff for us to share about the founders. So we've started talking about startup founders. So thank you. The conversation we had earlier coming from Audrey helped us to understand, if you want to build startup, what should I be thinking about? What should I consider? What should I put at the back of my mind? So today we're having a work together with let me not let the cat out of the bag. Let him talk about it, because it's something I'm really excited about for a good number of us. So over to you, Joshua.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Francis. So at Sun Technology, we run a number of programs through ALX Nigeria, and one of the most interesting programs is the Founders Academy. And their Founders Academy essentially takes you through a 3 to 5 day guided course that allows you to essentially think, build, and launch a business, essentially taking you through core and rigorous learning exercises with core deliverables that actually are applicable to building a business. So you essentially go away with an MVP, you go away with a lean canvas model, and then lastly, you essentially go away with a pitch deck. Those are sort of essential tools for you to actually kickstart and launch your business as well. But beyond that, we then expose you to that ALX Nigeria and Ventures community, where you get access to exclusive events across Nigeria and across Africa. And also you get to also interact with entrepreneurs across 8 other markets in Africa, which is really, really a super exciting community of builders who are building multiple solutions. So if you're looking to build your EdTech and solution or any other solutions outside of EdTech, and you think that you want to make it tech-enabled or not, but you need the components that we've mentioned, we're putting together something in the next few weeks, and we'll be happy to share and introduce you to this course. So it's really exciting, and we're waiting for you, and we can't wait to take you on this journey.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really exciting because a good number of us have started something. Some of you have had this private call with me, and you shared how I've had this, and especially some of you are into EdTech already. You're holding training programs, so there is always a structure to every business. And he has mentioned that lean canvas and many other things. You need to set goals. You need to be able to measure your success. I'm not going to say everything, but it's something we're going to continue conversing with you about. You're going to hear more about this in our groups, in your mails. We're going to send things to you. And yeah. Okay, you say, will it be free of choice? Or a super discount? So Joshua, over to you to tell us more about the funding, or if there's investment involved.
Yeah, so it's not going to come at a huge cost. I think that ALX Nigeria and Sand will obviously bring this to you at almost zero cost. But again, we're working with Shinovate to ensure that we're giving you the best value. And the idea of it is to ensure that you leave with something that actually helps and propels your business. You'll also be getting a certificate, actually, which is actually great, right, from Sun Technologies, to essentially say that you've gone through this course. But the idea of it is not really around generating revenue for us. It's more around ensuring that more people are able to essentially launch and grow their businesses across, because we think that that's the ripple effect that actually translates to job creation in Africa. And we're all about creating jobs and creating economic opportunities for people and for Africans.
Yeah, that's good. I hope that answers your question, Doinsola. So yes, if you want to know the details about of that, we will reach out to you through your emails and through the community. Okay, you'll get to know more about it. The date is going to start and what it entails. Okay, so we're going to make available every information you need about this. Okay, so just put your ears down and get ready for as many things, because one thing I told you that from the conception, or from inception, Shinovate Africa is meant to build more leaders among us. through every sector. So we're exposing you to the very best first step you can take, whether it's any industry or whether learning or taking decision to launch that startup that's been in your heart. So we are opening doors. We are working, partnering with Sen Technologies as ALX to bring you as many possibilities as you can to grow. Not all of them will come free. Please learn to invest in your business. Learn to invest in your personal development and growth. Many of us are a product of a lot of learnings and experiences, and they came at a huge cost, not physically, but financially somehow, some way. If you want to go and travel out, Japa, anything, you really need to be able to be qualified to show off. Qualified, let me use the word show qualified. You want to be able to have the skills that is needed. You remember, so everything is not all about your vicinity. Think world. Think, if I show up in a certain country, what is it about me that is in demand? Okay, and you know that tech cuts across every country, everywhere. We need tech solutions, we need innovations, we need ideas, we need builders everywhere. And you see, many countries are exploring this tech. What's the name of that travel opportunities for tech founders or tech people? Was that again? Someone should remind me if it's in the chat. Tech Nation, yes. So you see that privilege. You come as a startup founder, a tech builder, you're doing something. Countries are willing to welcome you. Bring that your idea to us. And what if you are very good? So I remembered some companies, health companies, pharmaceutical companies laid off, and a lot of women switched to tech. So, or want to switch to tech. So how do you start that education? Or you have all the skills. You've learned cybersecurity, data analysis, data science, and all the rest of it. You're good software engineer and all the networking. You're good at them, but you don't know where to start. How about building a startup? Become an employer. Okay, so today our focus is generalized on entrepreneurship, okay, and leadership. So please, if you have more questions, bring it to the chat in the EdTech group. Yeah, we'll be able to receive your questions. Our moderator there is Joyce Teomoro, and bring up your questions, talk about this, and I'll give you all the response. So whatever it is, we channel it through to ALX. So before we call it a day, I know that I made a promise, but before then, I want to appreciate Joshua for your time. Thank you. And I will always say that Sen Technologies is well represented. I know you are very big. You understand what it is to educate us, and you have really brought a beautiful presentation. Just that time did not allow us to, pieces every single one of them and ask questions about them. But we know that watching the replay and communicating with you in future will help us expand our knowledge. So thank you very much. Send out our warm regards to Ruby. Yeah, we appreciate this privilege. So with that, we're going to drop a feedback form for everybody to explore. Thank you very much, Joshua.
Okay. Thanks, Francis. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So forgive me, I really want to get this thing. Okay, fine. So so time has been spent. We cannot turn back the hands of time. This is 9 p.m. and like I want to keep my promise not to keep you longer than expected, even though tomorrow is not a work day. I will not explore this time, but I will let you to go to bed in no time. So I know the mail we sent out today, we mentioned the fact that we're going to have a panel session where all the moderators are going to come, but we were so excited. We enjoyed the session so much that we wouldn't let most of the speakers leave, and time was extended. I enjoyed the session and I wish we can recreate this moment. So, but without which we will drop a feedback form in the chat. I think I want to be sure it's there, but day 1 and day 2. So you can tell us if you want to, if you're interested in joining any of these programs that were mentioned. Yeah, any of these programs that were mentioned, please feel free to reach out to us through email. So when we send emails later, we're going to expect your feedback. Then that aside, in the community, we want to hear from you. So we have day 1 and day 2 feedback form. Please be kind enough to feel them and feel them honestly. Anyway, just give us exactly how you feel. If we do well, thumbs up. If we are not doing well, give us thumb down and tell us why it is like that. Okay, so if you also be interested in joining the founders academy and get the training, I did not say pay money, I said just show interest, then fill the form and indicate your interest. Okay, yes, so please fill the forms, they are there. Answer, respond as much as you experience this program. The Shinovate Africa Conference, we will conclude this here now, but we will have all that conversations in the community. We might have webinars and also to respond to your questions, because not everything is text. Sometimes we need to come on live and share with you. But that before we go, I remember that we sent out an email earlier today that part of the things we're going to achieve today is also to announce the winner of the design challenge and a panel session for all the moderators. So that is not going to be able to happen today with the time we have, but for the announcement and everything, we're going to come live in future with all the judges and present the winner and the prize money. Remember, the prize money was, can someone tell me in the chat? So we are not that type that make promises and don't keep it. We'll give out the prize money to the winner because a lot of work was put into it, and they created product design challenge, and some people learned, but I know that the learning is progressive. We're going to bring you up to speed. For those that are coming into UI UX as product design, we're going to educate you. We're going to bring in trainers, facilitators to let you into it gently. Okay, so with that, I don't know how I'm going to close up this, because I can't just see myself letting you guys go, but we have to respect your time and rest time for every one of us. For everyone that has joined us today, I want you to, yes, go ahead, drop in the chat what is the best experience you had today. You can go on YouTube, because we're streaming live on YouTube right now. Drop your feedback, like how was this experience to you? Please, I would love it, because once we're done Zoom, you're not going to see all these comments, but I want you to go on our YouTube channel. We're streaming live. You can as well watch it from there. Drop in your comments. We'll be happy to leave your comments in the public so that people can know that this is something they actually miss, but not so much, because live recording is going to be available for them to sit down and watch, please. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, because more videos are going to be coming. We're going to bring in more facilitators. We're going to have webinars. We're going to have hackathons. Hold on to that word. We're going to have that to help more people build. Okay, so and as we round off, does anyone have any question or something? Please go ahead and drop it in the chat. I know that time has been spent, and I want to appreciate you guys. I don't know whether we should take a selfie or what. How do I let us go in a very outstanding way? So please fill our feedback form and have a wonderful night rest. With that, we say good night. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening and the beautiful weekend. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.